Alright, we are coming up on 8 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started tonight, shall we? Welcome back. This is our 10th reading from Morte d'Arthur. I know it was 10 because when I made the thumbnail this morning, I had to add an extra digit. So, we've had a lot going on with this one, but we are coming up toward the end. We are in the last book of the first volume of Morte d'Arthur. As I've mentioned before in our other sessions, we will just be reading this first volume for now. I have the other one queued up, but we have a lot of other things in the backlog that we really should get into, and I'd rather not have a 20-plus part series on just one book. At least for now. Maybe someday, but I kind of like having a little bit of variety. Maybe down the line we'll start setting up another sort of schedule where we'll have a couple days for one book, a couple days for another book, and then bounce around some. But, not feeling that just yet. So, let's, settle in for now, because man, I have a day. Lord almighty. I had some car trouble, about 2 weeks ago, I'd say. Somebody had left some debris in the road on the highway. Can't really dodge it. You know how it goes. So, knocked out the bumper. And, so, finally got that into the body shop today. I was expecting, a day, maybe a couple days. Just a little bit of an adventure. Pop the bumper off, replace the bumper. Bob's your uncle, send you on home. No. So I'll be without a car for 3 weeks now. That'll be a whole lot of fun. So as part of that, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna walk myself over to the store, buy a bike. I'm not in as good shape as I self-assessed. The walk over to the Walmart, not awful. I can do that. Just a little less than 2 miles. Like that's fine. That's an all right walk. The bike ride back, that uses muscles that I think I forgot I had. Yeah. So, it'll be good to have a bike. I'm not begrudging the purchase, because that's the sort of thing you like to have around. Sometimes you just take it for a spin, that sort of thing. But, I was not prepared. I was not prepared at all. But since then, I've managed to make it up the stairs, take a shower, clean up, mostly recovered. And we'll see how tomorrow treats me. It doesn't help that it's like 90 with high humidity these days. It would be the first day of summer that I have my misadventures. Oh, well. That's enough preamble, though. Let's get back to Arthur and his knights, shall we? So, we are resuming now with Book 9, Chapter 4. As you may recall, we're starting to follow La Côte del Mail, the man with the evil coat, wearing his father's coat that's kind of chopped up and such from previous misadventures. So, Chapter 4. How La Côte del Mail fought against 100 knights, and how he escaped by the mean of a lady. And anon, there came 100 knights about him, and assailed him. And when he saw his horse should be slain, he alighted, and voided his horse, and put the bridle under his feet, and so put him out of the gate. And when he had done so, he hurled in among them, and dressed his back unto a lady's chamber wall, thinking himself that he had liefer die there with worship, than to abide the rebukes of the damsel maledicent. And in the meantime, as he stood and fought, that lady, whose was the chamber, went out slyly at her postern, and without the gates she found La Côte Mailtail's horse, and lightly she gat him by the bridle, and tied him to the postern. And then she went unto her chamber slyly again, for to behold how that one knight fought against 100 knights. And when she had beheld him long, she went to a window behind his back, and said, Thou knight, thou fightest wonderly well, But for all that at the last thou must needs die. But thou canst through thy mighty prowess win unto yonder postern, for there I have fastened thy horse to abide thee. But wit thou well, thou must think on thy worship, and think not to die, for thou mayst not win unto that postern without thou do nobly and mightily. When the Cote-Mail-Tail heard her say so, he gripped his sword in his hands, and put his shield fair afore him. And through the thickest press he thrilled through them. And when he came to the postern, he found there ready 4 knights. And at the first strokes he slew 2 of them, and the other fled. And so he won his horse, and rode from them. And all as it was, it was rehearsed in King Arthur's court, how he slew 12 knights within the castle Orgulus, and so he rode on his way. And in the meanwhile, the damsel said to Sir Mordred, I ween my foolish knight be either slain or taken prisoner. Then were they where he came riding. And when he was come unto them, he told them all how he had sped and escaped in despite of them all. And some of the best of them will tell no tales. Thou liest falsely, said the damsel. That dare I make good. But as a fool and a dastard to all knighthood, they have let thee pass. That may ye prove, said the Cote-Mail-Tail. With that, she sent a courier of hers, that rode always with her, for to know the truth of his deed. And so he rode thither lightly, and asked how and in what manner that the Cote-Mail-Tail was escaped out of the castle. Then all the knights cursed him, and said that he was a fiend and no man, for he hath slain here 12 of our best knights, and we weened unto this day that it had been too much for Sir Launcelot de Lake or Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. And in despite of us all, he is departed from us, and maugre our heads. With this answer, the courier departed, and came to Maledicent his lady, and told her all how Sir Cote-Mail-Tail had sped at the castle Orgulus. Then she smote down her head and said little. By my head, said Sir Mordred to the damsel, ye are greatly to blame so to rebuke him. For I warn you plainly, he is a good knight, and I doubt not but he shall prove a noble knight. But as yet he may not yet sit sure on horseback, for he that shall be a good horseman, it must come of usage and exercise. But when he cometh to the strokes of his sword, he is then noble and mighty. And that saw Sir Bloberus and Sir Palomides, for wit ye well, they are wily men of arms, and anon they know when they see a young knight by his riding, how they are sure to give him a fall from his horse or a great buffet. But for the most part, they will not light on foot with young knights, for they are white and strongly armed. For likewise, Sir Launcelot de Lake, when he was first made knight, he was often put to the worse upon horseback, but ever upon foot he recovered his renown, and slew and defoiled many knights of the Round Table. And therefore the rebukes that Sir Launcelot did unto many knights causeth them that be men of prowess to beware. For often I have seen the old proven knights rebuked and slain by them that were but young beginners. Thus they rode sure talking by the way together. Here we leave off a while of this tale, and speak we of Sir Launcelot de Lake. So, the Cote-Mail-Tail has his own toxic damsel, so it might seem, and she is aptly named Maledicent. That is as sinister a name for a damsel as ever I've heard. She's got a bit of a judgy streak on her, but that's understandable. Man rides up and can barely ride his horse, and comes out and somehow, by the grace of God, escapes from the attack of 100 knights and kills 12 of them on his way out. It's, reasonable to be a little suspicious there. But Mordred kind of sees the right of it. Like, well, a lot of these kids, they can't exactly ride their horse too well, but get them on the ground. They are full of vim and vigor. So, Mordred is kind of got his back here, which got a little bit of mixed feelings on, because as we may know, or may recall from the stories, Mordred is not the best friend of the table, shall we say. But it seems like we're not going to be following the Coat Mail Tale for too long, because now we're going back to Lancelot. Chapter 5. How Sir Lancelot came to the court and heard of the Coat Mail Tale, and how he followed after him, and how the Coat Mail Tale was prisoner. Okay, well, maybe it's a short dalliance with Lancelot. That when he was come to the court of King Arthur, then heard he tell of the young knight La Cote Male Taile, how he slew the lion, and how he took upon him the adventure of the Black Shield, the which was named at that time the hardiest adventure of the world. So God save me, said Sir Lancelot unto many of his followers. It was a shame to all the noble knights to suffer such a young knight to take such adventure upon him for his destruction. For I will that ye wit, said Sir Lancelot, that damsel Maledicent hath borne that shield many a day for to seek the most proved knights, and that was she that Bruce Sans Pité took that shield from her, and after Tristram de Lyonesse rescued that shield from him and gave it to the damsel again, a little afore that time, that Sir Tristram fought with my nephew, Sir Blamore de Ganys, for a quarrel that was betwixt the King of Ireland and him. Then many knights were sorry that Sir La Cote Male Taile was gone forth to that adventure. Truly, said Sir Lancelot, I cast me to ride after him. And within 7 days Sir Lancelot overtook La Cote Male Taile, and then he saluted him, and the damsel Maledicent. And when Sir Mordred saw Sir Lancelot, then he left their fellowship. And so Sir Lancelot rode with them all a day, and ever the damsel rebuked La Cote Male Taile, and then Sir Lancelot answered for him. Then she left off, and rebuked Sir Lancelot. So this meantime Sir Tristram sent by a damsel a letter unto Sir Lancelot, excusing him of the wedding of Isoud la Blanche Mains, and said in the letter, as he was a true knight, he had never ado fleshly with Isoud la Blanche Mains. And passing courteously and gently, Sir Tristram wrote unto Sir Lancelot, ever beseeching him to be his good friend, and unto La Beale Isoud of Cornwall, and that Sir Lancelot would excuse him, if that ever he saw her. And within short time, by the grace of God, said Sir Tristram, that he would speak with La Beale Isoud, and with him right hastily. Then Sir Lancelot departed from the damsel, and from Sir La Cote Male Taile, for to oversee that letter, and to write another letter unto Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. And in the meanwhile, La Cote Male Taile rode with the damsel, until they came to a castle that hight Pendragon. And there were 6 knights stood afore him, and one of them preferred to joust with La Cote Male Taile. And there La Cote Male Taile smote him over his horse's croup. And then the 5 knights set upon him all at once with their spears, and there they smote La Cote Male Taile down, horse and man. And then they alighted suddenly, and set their hands upon him all at once, and took him prisoner, and so led him unto the castle, and kept him as prisoner. And on the morn Sir Lancelot arose, and delivered the damsel with letters unto Sir Tristram. And then he took his way after La Cote Male Taile. And by the way upon a bridge there was a knight, preferred Sir Lancelot to joust. And Sir Lancelot smote him down, and then they fought upon foot, a noble battle together, and a mighty. And at the last Sir Lancelot smote him down, grovelling upon his hands and knees. And then that knight yielded him, and Sir Lancelot received him fair. Sir, said the knight, I require thee, tell me your name, for much my heart giveth unto you. Nay, said Sir Lancelot, as at this time I will not tell you my name, unless then that ye tell me your name. Certainly, said the knight. My name is Sir Nerovens, that was made knight by my lord Sir Lancelot de Lake. Ah, Nerovens de Lisle, said Sir Lancelot, I am right glad that ye are proved a good knight, for now wit ye well, my name is Sir Lancelot de Lake. Alas, said Sir Nerovens de Lisle, what have I done? and therewithal, flatling, he fell to his feet, and would have kissed them. But Sir Launcelot would not let him, and then either made great joy of other. And then Sir Nerovens told Sir Launcelot that he should not go by the castle of Pendragon, for there is a lord, a mighty knight, and many knights with him. And this night I heard say that they took a knight prisoner yesterday that rode with a damsel, and they say that he's a knight of the Round Table. That brings us to the end of chapter 5. Hi, Apple. Chapter 6. How Sir Launcelot fought with 6 knights, and after with Sir Brian, and how he delivered the prisoners. Ah, said Sir Launcelot, that knight is my fellow, and him shall I rescue, or else I shall lose my life therefore. And therewithal he rode fast till he came before the castle of Pendragon. And anon therewithal there came 6 knights, and all made them ready to set upon Sir Launcelot at once. Then Sir Launcelot footed his spear, and smote the foremost that he brake his back in sunder. And 3 of them hit, and 3 failed. And then Sir Launcelot passed through them, and lightly he turned in again, and smote another knight through the breast and throughout the back more than an ell. And therewithal his spear brake. And then all the remnant of the 4 knights drew their swords, and lashed at Sir Launcelot. And at every stroke Sir Launcelot bestowed so his strokes, that at 4 strokes sundry they avoided their saddles, passing sore wounded. And therewithal he rode hurling into that castle. And anon the lord of the castle, that was that time clipped Sir Brian de les Isles, the which was a nobleman, and a great enemy unto King Arthur. Within a while he was armed and upon horseback. And then they footed their spears, and hurled together so strongly that both their horses rashed to the earth. Then they avoided their saddles, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and flanged together as wood men. There were many strokes given in a while. At the last Sir Launcelot gave to Sir Brian such a buffet that he kneeled upon his knees, and then Sir Launcelot rushed upon him. And with great force he pulled off his helm, and when Sir Brian saw that he should be slain, he yielded him, and put him in his mercy, and in his grace. Then Sir Launcelot made him to deliver all his prisoners that he had within his castle. And therein Sir Launcelot found of Arthur's knights 30, and 40 ladies, and so he delivered them. And then he rode his way, and anon, as the coat-mail tale was delivered, he gat his horse, and his harness, and his damsel Maledicent. Meanwhile, Sir Nerovens, that Sir Launcelot had foughten withal afore at the bridge, he sent a damsel after Sir Launcelot, to wit, how he sped at the castle of Pendragon. And then they within the castle marvelled what knight he was, when Sir Brian and his knights delivered all those prisoners. Have ye no marvel, said the damsel, for the best knight in this world was here, and did this journey. And wit ye well, she said, it was Sir Launcelot. Then was Sir Brian full glad, and so was his lady and all his knights, that such a man should win them. And when the damsel in the coat-mail tale understood that it was Sir Launcelot de Lake that had ridden with them in fellowship, and that she remembered her how she had rebuked him and called him coward, then was she passing heavy. Brings us to the end of chapter 6. So Lancelot is definitely pulling off some Superman moves around here. Yeah, well, no one was worried about the 30 missing knights here, and I think, was it when Gareth was out adventuring, he came up into a knight that had like fully half of the Round Table in his prisons? So I guess the knights just wander off and do their own thing, and they only come back for like the Pentecost feast. So if they're missing for a while, it's just like, they'll be back, or they won't. Knights, what are you gonna do? But yeah, so Lancelot was definitely pulling off some Superman moves, being full-on superhero of knights, like flexing all over the place as he went through. It's kind of nice to see that sort of I mean, for the time, like, every era has their own heroes. And getting to see them in their element like this is very nice. Very nice. And it was nice to see the damsel Maledicent get kind of put in her place. She was talking bad about Lancelot when he showed up, and like, you know what? I think that's got to be at least an eagle. Like, there's no way. You gotta put some respect on that. There's no way that was even close to par. Alright, Chapter 7. How Sir Lancelot met with the damsel named Maledicent, and named her the Damsel Bien-Pensant. Why, the French? I think it's Bien-Pensant. Let's see if it will... Yeah, Bien-Pensant. Oh. Let's see. What does that come up as? Similar, conventional, mainstream, conformist, accepted, approved. Okay. Alright. So then they took their horses and rode forth apace after Sir Lancelot. And within 2 miles they overtook him, and saluted him, and thanked him. And the damsel cried Sir Lancelot mercy of her evil deed, and saying, For now I know the flower of all knighthood is departed, even between Sir Tristram and you. For God knoweth, said the damsel, that I have sought you, my lord Sir Lancelot, and Sir Tristram long. And now I thank God I have met with you. And once at Camelot I met with Sir Tristram, and there he rescued this black shield with the white hand holding a naked sword that Sir Bruce Sanspeté had taken from me. Now, fair damsel, said Sir Lancelot, who told you my name? Sir, said she, there came a damsel from a knight that ye fought withal at the bridge, and she told me your name was Sir Lancelot de Lake. Blame have she then, said Sir Lancelot, but her lord, Sir Nerevens, hath told her. But, damsel, said Sir Lancelot, upon this covenant I will ride with you, so that ye will not rebuke this knight Sir Lacote-Maletaile no more, for he is a good knight, and I doubt not he shall prove a noble knight. And for his sake and pity, that he should not be destroyed, I follow him to succor him in this great need. Ah, Jesu, thank you, said the damsel. For now I will say unto you and to him both, I rebuked him never for no hate that I hated him, but for great love that I had to him. For ever I supposed that he had been too young, too tender to take upon him these adventures, and therefore by my will I would have driven him away for jealousy that I had of his life. For it may be no young knight's deed that shall achieve this adventure at the end. Pardieu, said Sir Lancelot, it is well said, and where ye are called the damsel Maledicent, I will call you the damsel Bien-Pensant. And so they rode forth a great while, until they came to the border of the country of Surlus. And there they found a fair village, with a strong bridge like a fortress. And when Sir Lancelot found they were at the bridge, there stirred forth afore them a gentleman and human many, that said, Fair lords, ye may not pass this bridge and this fortress, because of that black shield that I see one of you bear. And therefore there shall not pass but one of you at once. Therefore choose you which of you shall enter within this bridge first. Then Sir Lancelot preferred himself first to enter within this bridge. Sir, said Lacote-Maletaile, I beseech you, let me enter within this fortress, and if I may speed well, I will send for you. And if it happen that I be slain, there it goeth. And if so be that I am a prisoner taken, then ye may rescue me. I am loath, said Sir Launcelot, to let you pass this passage. Sir, said La Cote Male Taile, I pray you, let me put my body in this adventure. Now go your way, said Sir Launcelot, and Yesu be your speed. It's an interesting way to put it. Yesu be your speed instead of, like, God be with you, or something like that. Kind of like it. So he entered, and anon there met with him two brethren, the one hight Sir Plain de Force, and the other hight Sir Plain de Amour. And anon they met with Sir La Cote Male Taile, and first La Cote Male Taile smote down Plain de Force, and after he smote down Plain de Amour. And then they dressed them to their shields and swords, and bade La Cote Male Taile alight. So he did, and there was dashing and foining with swords, and so they began to assail full hard La Cote Male Taile. And great many wounds they gave him upon his head, and upon his breast, and upon his shoulders. And as he might ever among, he gave sad strokes again. And then the two brethren traced and traversed, for to be of both hands of Sir La Cote Male Taile. But he, by fine force and knightly prowess, gat them afore him. And then, when he felt himself so wounded, then he doubled his strokes, and gave them so many wounds that he felled them to the earth, and would have slain them had they not yielded them. And right so Sir La Cote Male Taile took their best horse that there was of them three, and so rode forth his way to the other fortress and bridge. And there he met with a third brother, whose name was Sir Plenorius, a full noble knight, and there they jousted together, and either smote other down, horse and man, to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and gave many sad strokes. And one while the one knight was afore on the bridge, and another while the other, and thus they fought 2 hours and more, and never rested. And ever Sir Launcelot and the damsel beheld them. Alas, said the damsel, my knight fighteth passing sore and over long. Now may ye see, said Sir Launcelot, that he is a noble knight. For to consider his first battle and his grievous wounds, and even forthwithal so wounded as he is, it is marvel that he may endure this long battle with that good knight. That brings us to the end of chapter 7. So this is a nice little moment where Lancelot is sort of taking La Cote Male Taile under his wing, but also sort of letting him have his own adventure. He's taking a step back and like, all right, it's time for the kid to have his way. So it's good to see, sort of bringing up the next generation, as it might be. I'm not sure how far apart in ages they are. It's probably more just a few years apart, but Lancelot is definitely the more experienced and well-renowned of the knights. So it's good to see him giving a chance to La Cote Male Taile. And also, the kid's doing pretty good for himself. But we'll see how long that takes. And so, chapter 8. How La Cote Male Taile was taken prisoner, and after rescued by Sir Launcelot. And how Sir Launcelot overcame 4 brethren. Okay, yeah, so that didn't take very long at all. This meanwhile, Sir La Cote Male Taile sank right down upon the earth. What for wounded and what for bled he might not stand. Then the other knight had pity of him, and said, Fair young knight, dismay you not. For had ye been fresh when ye met with me, as I were, I wot well that I should not have endured so long as ye have done. And therefore, for your noble deeds of arms, I shall show to you kindness and gentleness in all that I may. And forthwithal, this noble knight, Sir Plenorius, took him up into his arms, and led him in his tower. And then he commanded him the wine, and made to search him, and to stop his bleeding wounds. Sir, said La Cote Male Taile, withdraw you from me, and hie you to yonder bridge again, for there will meet with you another manner knight than ever was I. Why, said Plenorius, is there another manner knight behind of your fellowship? Yea, said La Cote Male Taile, there is a much better knight than I am. What is his name? said Plenorius. Ye shall not know from me, said Le Comte Maltail. Well, said the knight, he shall be encountered with all whatsoever he may be. Then Sir Plenorius heard a knight call that said, Sir Plenorius, where art thou? Either thou must deliver me the prisoner that thou hast led unto thy tower, or else come and do battle with me. Then Plenorius gat his horse, and came with a spear in his hand, walloping toward Sir Launcelot. And then they began to fetter their spears, and came together as thunder, and smote either other so mightily that their horses fell down under them. And then they avoided their horses, and pulled out their swords, and like two bulls they lashed together with great strokes and foins. But ever Sir Launcelot recovered ground upon him, and Sir Plenorius traced to have gone about him. But Sir Launcelot would not suffer that, but bare him backer and backer, till he came nigh his tower gate. And then said Sir Launcelot, I know thee well for a good knight, but wit thou well, thy life and death is in my hand, and therefore yield thee to me and thy prisoner. The other answered no word, but struck mightily upon Sir Launcelot's helm, that the fire sprang out of his eyes. Then Sir Launcelot doubled his strokes so thick, and smote at him so mightily, that he made him kneel upon his knees. Therewith Sir Launcelot leapt upon him, and pulled him grovelling down. Then Sir Plenorius yielded him, and his tower, and all his prisoners at his will. Then Sir Launcelot received him, and took his troth, and then he rode to the other bridge, and there Sir Launcelot jousted with 3 other of his brethren, the one hight Pilonis, and the other hight Pelagris, and the third Sir Palandris. And first upon horseback Sir Launcelot smote them down, and afterward he beat them on foot, and made them to yield them unto him. Then he returned unto Sir Plenorius, and there he found in his prison King Carados of Scotland, and many other knights, and all they were delivered. And then Sir Le Comte Maltail came to Sir Launcelot, and then Sir Launcelot would have given him all these fortresses and these bridges. Nay, said Le Comte Maltail, I will not have Sir Plenorius' livelihood. With that he will grant you, my lord Sir Launcelot, to come unto King Arthur's court, and to be his knight and all his brethren. I will pray you, my lord, to let him have his livelihood. I will well, said Sir Launcelot, with this, that he will come to the court of King Arthur, and become his man, and his brethren 5. And as for you, Sir Plenorius, I will undertake, said Sir Launcelot, at the next feast, so there will be a place voided, that ye shall be a knight of the Round Table. Sir, said Plenorius, at the next feast of Pentecost, I will be at Arthur's court, and at that time I will be guided and ruled as King Arthur and ye will have me. Then Sir Launcelot and Sir Le Comte Maltail reposed them there, unto the time that Sir Le Comte Maltail was whole of his wounds. And there they had merry cheer, and good rest, and many good games, and there were many fair ladies. That brings us to the end of chapter 8. And yeah, you're right, recently, definitely, there have been a lot of opposing knights that start with a P. Now, I think all of these were either relatives or close friends, but yeah, there was even in the last chapter, there were 2 of them. It was Plain de Force and Plain d'Amour. And then there was the one that took Le Comte Maltail was Plenorius, that's 3. And then Pelagris and Palandris and Plenorius. So yeah, fully 6 P Knights all gathered together. That's probably why they came together. Like, hey, your name starts with a P? Alright, let's go. Let's hold a bridge together. We got this. Alright, chapter 9. How Sir Launcelot made Le Comte Maltail lord of the Castle of Pendragon. Oh, and also the Castle Pendragon, yeah. And after was made Knight of the Round Table. Gareth may have fought P-Boys also. It it may just be that that Sir Thomas Malory has a certain prejudice against a specific letter in the alphabet. I wonder. Are there any of the... There aren't very many even P names in the Round Table. At least in the earlier stages. That's an I might need to look that up. Thomas Malory, you knave. Can't do the P's. Just doesn't work for you, I guess. Alright, Chapter 9. How Sir Lancelot made La Cote Male Taile Lord of the Castle of Pendragon, and after was made Knight of the Round Table. And in the meanwhile came Sir Kay the Seneschal, and Sir Brandiles, and anon they fellowshipped with them, and then within 10 days, then departed those knights of Arthur's court from those fortresses. And as Sir Lancelot came by the castle of Pendragon, there he put Sir Brian de Isles from his lands, for cause he would never be withhold with Arthur. And all that castle of Pendragon, and all the lands thereof, he gave to Sir La Cote Male Taile. And then Sir Lancelot sent for Nerovens, that he made once knight, and made him to have all the rule of that castle and of that country, under La Cote Male Taile. And so they rode to Arthur's court, all wholly together. And at Pentecost, next following, there was Sir Plenorius, and Sir La Cote Male Taile, called otherwise by right Sir Bruenor le Noir, both made knights of the Table Round, and great lands King Arthur gave them. And there Bruenor le Noir wedded that damsel Maledicent, and after she was called Beauvivante. But ever after, for the more part, he was called La Cote Male Taile, and he proved a passing noble knight, and mighty, and many worshipful deeds he did in his life. And Sir Plenorius proved a noble knight, and full of prowess. In all the days of their life, for the most part, they awaited upon Sir Lancelot, and Sir Plenorius's brethren were ever knights of King Arthur. And also, as the French book maketh mention, Sir La Cote Male Taile avenged his father's death. I'm sorry. As an afterthought, just a footnote on the chapter, you're going to say, oh yeah, the French book said that, you know, he did get his revenge. Eventually. Just, you know, not important. We don't need to go over that. I don't need to show you how or tell you the story. Just, the French book says it happened. Mr. Thomas Malory, are you joking with me? You're having a laugh. You're having a giggle from beyond the generations. I actually started getting invested with this. The La Cote Male Taile had a nice... yeah, of course, you've read the French book, obviously. But yeah, it was getting invested. Was following along with La Cote Male Taile, having the dynamic between him and Lancelot, and how Lancelot was like trying to give him a chance to grow. And then he'd always sweep in and rescue. He had a very, you know, MCU Spider-Man and Iron Man vibe going on. Like, watching out, like, all right, let him do his thing. But no, just, you know, it all happens off screen. He gets his revenge. He's made a Knight of the Round Table. He marries his toxic damsel. They're going to make me find this French book. It's going to happen. I won't read it. I don't read French. But I'm going to find it. I'm going to have it on my shelf one of these days. Just like that. The French book. So whenever anyone is visiting, I'll be like, you know, as the French book saith, and I'll point to it on my shelf. They'll never know. They'll never know that I haven't read it. That'll be the way. I'm actually just going to get a random French book, and we'll just like sneak that into regular discussion. As the French book saith, or as was mentioned in the French book. It could be a cookbook for all anyone knows. Yep. That's the next mission. When the car is fixed, I'm gonna go to a used bookstore and find a book in French. Yep. But in accordance with the prophecies it's foreboding and really, really chuny. But as the French book saith, see, that's prim, and it's like you're learned, well read, like as the French book saith. But it would make people uncomfortable. I guess that is the point, though, right? You're trying to make people uncomfortable. Yeah, well. Alright, let's keep at it. We've been derailed a little bit by the absolute gall of this man to do La Cote Mailtail dirty like that. Chapter 10. How La Beale Isoud sent letters to Sir Tristram by her maid Bragwaine, and of diverse adventures of Sir Tristram. Oh, okay, so we're going back to Sir Tristram after all. So we just had 9 chapters of other stuff going on, and they're like, oh wait, hold on. We're going back to Tristram after a little while. I guess that works. We didn't really get closure with Tristram, but, I mean, come on. Alright. Yeah, thought we were free of him. I guess this hopefully means that Tristram and La Cote Mailtail will have some sort of collab or something going on. Otherwise, why would we even have bothered with the first 9 chapters of this book? Unless that was like setting the stage of Lancelot being awesome, and also there's a side character, La Cote Mailtail. And then, like, okay, now that we've established that Lancelot is awesome, here's Tristram, who is also apparently awesome, but he's kind of a git. And this is how they make amends? I don't know. Maybe. So right now, as far as we know, Lancelot is sworn enemy of Tristram because Tristram married another Isoud. Not the one that he was in love with before, but man's judgy. It is what it is. Alright. Now we leave here Sir La Cote Mailtail, and turn we unto Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, that was in Brittany. When La Beale Isoud understood that he was wedded, she sent to him by her maiden Bragwaine as piteous letters as could be thought and made, and her conclusion was that, and it pleased Sir Tristram, that he would come to her court, and bring with him Isoud la Blanche Main, and they should be kept as well as she herself. And then Sir Tristram called unto him Sir Cadius, and asked him whether he would go with him into Cornwall secretly. He answered him that he was ready at all times, and then he let ordain privily a little vessel, and therein they went. Sir Tristram, Cadius, Dame Bragwaine, and Gouvernail, Sir Tristram's squire. And when they were in the sea, a contrarious wind blew them on the coasts of North Wales, nigh the Castle Perilous. Then said Sir Tristram, Here shall ye abide me these 10 days, and Gouvernail, my squire, with you. And if so be I come not again by that day, take the next way into Cornwall. For in this forest are many strange adventures, as I have heard say, and some of them I cast me to prove or I depart. And when I may, I shall hie me after you. Then Sir Tristram and Cadius took their horses and departed from their fellowship. And so they rode within that forest a mile and more, and at the last Sir Tristram saw afore him like a likely knight, armed, sitting by a well, and a strong mighty horse passing nigh him tied to an oak, and a man hoving and riding by him, leading a horse laden with spears. And this knight that sat at the well seemed by his countenance to be passing heavy. Then Sir Tristram rode near him and said, Fair knight, why sit ye so drooping? Ye seem to be a knight-errant by your arms and harness, and therefore dress you to joust with one of us, or with both. Man is sitting by a well looking sad, and what do? Say, Hey, joust me! Therewithal, that knight made no words, but took his shield and buckled it about his neck, and lightly he took his horse and leapt upon him. Then he took a great spear of his squire, and departed his way a furlong. Sir Cadius asked leave of Sir Tristram to joust first. "Do your best," said Sir Tristram. So they met together, and there Sir Cadius had a fall, and was sore wounded on high above the paps. Then Sir Tristram said, "Knight, that is well jousted. Now make you ready unto me." "I am ready," said the knight. And then that knight took a greater spear in his hand, and encountered with Sir Tristram. And there, by great force, that knight smote down Sir Tristram from his horse, and had a great fall. Then Sir Tristram was sore ashamed, and lightly he avoided his horse, and put his shield afore his shoulder, and drew his sword, and then Sir Tristram required that knight of his knighthood to alight upon foot, and fight with him. "I will well," said the knight. And so he alighted upon foot, and avoided his horse, and cast his shield upon his shoulder, and drew his sword. And there they fought a long battle together, full nigh 2 hours. Then Sir Tristram said, "Fair knight, hold thine hand, and tell me of whence thou art, and what is thy name?" "As for that," said the knight, "I will be avised, but an thou wilt tell me thy name, peradventure I will tell thee mine." Chapter 11. How Sir Tristram met with Sir Lamorak de Galis, and how they fought, and after accorded never to fight together. "Now, fair knight," he said, "my name is Sir Tristram de Liones." "Sir," said the other knight, "and my name is Sir Lamorak de Galis." "Ah, Sir Lamorak," said Sir Tristram, "well be we met. And bethink thee now of the despot thou didst me of the sending of the horn unto King Mark's court, to the intent to have slain or dishonored my lady the Queen La Beale Isoud. And therefore wit thou well," said Sir Tristram, "the one of us shall die or we depart." "Sir," said Sir Lamorak, "remember that we were together in the Isle of Servage, and at that time ye promised me great friendship." Then Sir Tristram would make no longer delays, but lashed at Sir Lamorak, and thus they fought long, till either were weary of other. Then Sir Tristram said to Sir Lamorak, "In all my life met I never with such a knight that was so big and well-breathed as ye be. Therefore," said Sir Tristram, "it were pity that any of us both should here be mischieved." "Sir," said Sir Lamorak, "for your renown and name, I will that ye have the worship of this battle, and therefore I will yield me unto you." And therewith he took the point of his sword to yield him. "Nay," said Sir Tristram, "ye shall not do so, for well I know your proffers, and more of your gentleness than for any fear or dread ye have of me." And therewithal Sir Tristram proffered him his sword, and said, "Sir Lamorak, as an overcome knight, I yield me unto you, as to a man of the most noble prowess that ever I met withal." "Nay," said Sir Lamorak, "I will do you gentleness. I require you, let us be sworn together that never none of us shall after this day have ado with another." And therewithal Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak swear that never none of them should fight against other, nor for weal nor for woe. So yeah, you may remember, these two have a little bit of a history. They jousted together early in Tristram's career, and then Sir Lamorak sent the horn that causes causes a lady to profess her true love, or not, as may be the case, to Sir Tristram's the queen, the mistress. So there's a fair bit of baggage between these two. But then as they fought, they're like, "Oh, let me surrender. No, let me surrender. No, let me surrender." And now they're friends. Such as it is. Chapter 12. How Sir Palomides followed the questing beast, and smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak with one spear. Damn, go off. And this meanwhile there came Sir Palomides, the good knight, following the questing beast that had in shape a head like a serpent's head, and a body like a leopard, buttocks like a lion, and footed like a hart. And in his body there was such a noise as it had been the noise of 30 couple of hounds questing. And such a noise that beast made wheresoever he went. And this beast evermore Sir Palomides followed, for it was called his quest. And right so as he followed this beast, it came by Sir Tristram, and soon after came Palomides. And so, to brief this matter, he smote down Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak both with one spear. And so he departed after the beast, Galtasant. That was called the questing beast. Wherefore these two knights were passing wroth that Sir Palomides would not fight on foot with them. Here men may understand that be of worship, that he was never formed that all times might stand, but sometime he was put to the worse by malfortune, and at some time the worse knight put the better knight to a rebuke. Then Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak gat Sir Cadius upon a shield betwixt them both, and led him to a forester's lodge. There they gave him charge to keep him well, and with him they abode 3 days. Then the two knights took their horses, and at the cross they departed. And then Sir Tristram to Sir Lamorak, I require you, if ye hap to meet with Sir Palomides, say him that he shall find me at the same well where I met him, and there I, Sir Tristram, shall prove whether he be better knight than I. And so either departed from other a sundry way, and Sir Tristram rode nigh thereas was Sir Cadius, and Sir Lamorak rode until he came to a chapel, and there he put his horse unto pasture, and anon there came Sir Meliagance, that was King Bagdemagus' son, and there he put his horse to pasture, and was not ware of Sir Lamorak. And then this night Sir Meliagance made his moan of the love that he had to Queen Guinevere, and that he made a woeful complaint. All this heard Sir Lamorak, and on the morn Sir Lamorak took his horse and rode unto the forest, and there he met with two knights, hoving under a woodshaw. Fair knights, said Sir Lamorak, what do ye hoving here and watching? And if ye be knights errant that will joust, lo, I am ready. Nay, Sir Knight, they said, not so. We abide here not to joust with you, but we lie here in await of a knight that slew our brother. What knight was that, said Sir Lamorak, that you would fain meet withal? Sir, they said, it is Sir Launcelot that slew our brother, and if ever we may meet with him, he shall not escape, but we shall slay him. Ye take upon you a great charge, said Sir Lamorak, for Sir Launcelot is a noble, proved knight. As for that, we doubt not, for there is none of us, but we are good enough for him. But I will not believe that, said Sir Lamorak, for I have heard never yet of no knight the days of my life, but Sir Launcelot was too big for him. Well, that was kind of satisfying. Sir Palomides just like running along, doing his quest, chasing the beast that was the mythical beast, the questing beast. And as he's doing so, he's just like, oh, a knight, joust, joust. One spear takes out both of them. And it was Tristram, just summarily knocked on his ass. Like, you know what? I kind of like this Palomides guy. Alright, Chapter 13. How Sir Lamorak met with Sir Meliagance, and fought together for the beauty of Dame Guinevere. Oh, yeah, that's right. Here's another one that's besotted with Queen Guinevere. There is always somebody coming out of the woodwork, huh? Right so, as they stood talking thus, Sir Lamorak was ware how Sir Launcelot came riding straight toward them. Then Sir Lamorak saluted him, and he him again. And then Sir Lamorak asked Sir Launcelot if there were anything that he might do for him in these marches. Nay, said Sir Launcelot, not at this time, I thank you. Then either departed from other, and Sir Lamorak rode again thereas he left the two knights. And then he found them hid in the leaved wood. Fie on you, said Sir Lamorak, false cowards! Pity and shame it is that any of you should take the high order of knighthood. So Sir Lamorak departed from them, and within a while he met with Sir Meliagance. And then Sir Lamorak asked him why he loved Queen Guinevere as he did. For I was not far from you when ye made your complaint by the chapel. Did ye so? Said Sir Meliagance. Then will I abide by it. I love Queen Guinevere. What will ye with it? I will prove and make good that she is the fairest lady and most of beauty in the world. As to that, said Sir Lamorak, I say nay thereto, for Queen Morgause of Orkney, mother to Sir Gawain and his mother, is the fairest queen and lady that beareth the life. That is not so, said Sir Meliagance, and that will I prove with my hands upon thy body. Will ye so, said Sir Lamorak, and in better quarrel keep I not to fight. Then they departed either from other in great wrath, and when they came riding together, as it had been thunder, and either smote other so sore that their horses fell backward to the earth. And then they avoided their horses, and dressed their shields, and drew their swords, and then they hurtled together as wild boars, and thus they fought a great while. For Meliagance was a good man, and of great might, but Sir Lamorak was hard big for him, and put him always aback. But either had wounded other sore. Quick aside before we continue this chapter, it is good to know that some things are eternal. As ever, there will be fights when you call someone's waifu trash. The knights did it in King Arthur's court. The otakus do it now. You can't go insulting a man's waifu. You just don't do it. Sorry, that's you don't do it. You don't do it in polite society. You don't do it in coarse society. You don't. That's how you catch fists. And as they stood thus fighting, by fortune came Sir Launcelot and Sir Bloberus riding. And then Sir Launcelot rode betwixt them, and asked them for what cause they fought so together. And ye are both knights of King Arthur. Sir, said Meliagance, I shall tell you for what cause we do this battle. I praised my lady, Queen Guinevere, and said she was the fairest lady of the world. And Sir Lamorak said nay thereto, for he said Queen Morgause of Orkney was fairer than she and more of beauty. Ah, Sir Lamorak, why sayest thou so? It is not thy part to dispraise thy princess, that thou art under her obeisance, and we all. And therewith he alighted on foot, and said, For this quarrel make thee ready, for I will prove upon thee that Queen Guinevere is the fairest lady, and most of bounty in the world. Sir, said Lamorak, I am loath to have ado with you in this quarrel, for every man thinketh his own lady fairest. And though I praise the lady that I love most, ye should not be wroth. For though my lady, Queen Guinevere, be fairest in your eye, wit ye well, Queen Morgause of Orkney is fairest in mine eye. And so every knight thinketh his own lady fairest. And wit ye well, sir, ye are the man in the world, except Sir Tristram, that I am most loathest to have ado with all. But, and ye will needs fight with me, I shall endure you as long as I may. Then spake Sir Bloberus, and said, My lord Sir Launcelot, I wist you never so misadvised as ye are now. For Sir Lamorak saith you but reason and knightly. For I warn you, I have a lady, and methinketh that she is the fairest lady of the world. Were this a great reason that ye should be wroth with me for such language? And well ye wot that Sir Lamorak is as noble a knight as I know, and he hath aught you and us ever good will. And therefore I pray you, be good friends. Then Sir Launcelot said unto Sir Lamorak, I pray you forgive me mine evil will, and if I was misadvised, I will amend it. Sir, said Sir Lamorak, the amends is soon made betwixt you and me. And so Sir Launcelot and Sir Bloberus departed, and Sir Meliagance and Sir Lamorak took their horses, and either departed from other. And within a while came King Arthur, and met with Sir Lamorak, and jousted with him, and there he smote down Sir Lamorak, and wounded him sore with a spear, and so he rode from him. Wherefore Sir Lamorak was wroth that he would not fight with him on foot. Howbeit that Sir Lamorak knew not King Arthur. Okay, so let's straighten this knot out. Lamorak and Meliarls were fighting. Your waifu's shit. No, your waifu's shit. They come to blows. Lancelot shows up and is like, I don't hear nobody talking shit about my Guinevere, right? Right? Meanwhile, Lamorak and Blowburst are like, everybody his own waifu's the best. Come on. Trying to settle things. And then, out of nowhere, everyone is split up, gone their own ways. King Arthur himself knocks Lamorak on his ass and rides away into the sunset. Here I'm talking over his shoulder as he rides away. I heard you talking shit about my wife. This chapter was something else. Yeah. But this is, I can't even say, well, I guess this is like a mix of medieval frat boys and the wife guy. So, as we mentioned and observed throughout our readings, some things never change. Doesn't matter what era you're reading from, what era you're coming from, modern day, future sci-fi, medieval semi-quasi history, myth and legend. Everybody's gonna have that trigger. Alright, it is just after 9, so let's go ahead and take a quick break. I'm gonna top up my drink and check up on the cats. They've been suspiciously quiet. And then we'll get back to our reading in just a few minutes. We've got a fair bit left ahead of us. We're at about 78% or so, and as I remember, the glossary starts around 90, so we are coming up on it pretty quickly. Probably either tomorrow or Sunday we should finish this. So it'll be a good stretch, around about 3 weeks of reading, which is kind of a lot for one book, but we'll see the end of this probably by the end of the weekend, whether it be tomorrow or Sunday. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back to see what other adventures Tristram, Lamorak, Lancelot, and everyone get up to next. Because at this point, I don't know who's going to be the focus of each chapter. We've kind of lost the plot in this last book of the volume. All right, be back in a bit. Thanks, guys. All right, we are back. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get back into it, and we'll see where this sort of winding road of the last book of this volume is going to take us. So far, we've seen La Cote Tale, we've seen Sir Lancelot, Sir Tristram. So, it does seem that it might be that Lancelot and Tristram might meet up here before too long. They're in the same forest, anyway. So, this might be a clash for the ages, just brewing and waiting to happen. We'll see. Chapter 14. How Sir Kay met with Sir Tristram, and after of the shame spoken of the knights of Cornwall, and how they jousted. Now leave we of this tale, and speak we of Sir Tristram, that, as he rode, he met with Sir Kay the seneschal. And there Sir Kay asked Sir Tristram of what country he was. He answered that he was of the country of Cornwall. It may well be, said Sir Kay, for yet heard I never that ever good knight came out of Cornwall. That is evil spoken, said Sir Tristram. But, an it please you to tell me your name, I require you. Sir, wit ye well, said Sir Kay, that my name is Sir Kay the Seneschal. Is that your name? Said Sir Tristram. Now, wit ye well that ye are named the shamefullest knight of your tongue that now is living. Howbeit you are called a good knight, but ye are called unfortunate, and passing over thwart of your tongue. And thus they rode together, till they came to a bridge, and there was a knight would not let them pass, till one of them jousted with him. And so that knight jousted with Sir Kay, and there that knight gave Sir Kay a fall. His name was Sir Tor, Sir Lamorak's half-brother. And then they two rode to their lodging, and there they found Sir Brandile, and Sir Tor came thither anon after. And as they sat at supper, these 4 knights, 3 of them, spake all shame by Cornish knights. Sir Tristram heard all that they said, and he said but little. But he thought the more. But at that time he discovered not his name. Upon the morn, Sir Tristram took his horse, and abode them upon their way. And there Sir Brandile proffered to joust with Sir Tristram, and Sir Tristram smote him down, horse and all, to the earth. And then Sir Tor le Fils de Vechour encountered with Sir Tristram, and there Sir Tristram smote him down, and then he rode his way, and Sir Kay followed him, but he would not of his fellowship. Then Sir Brandile came to Sir Kay and said, I would wit fain what is that knight's name. Come on with me, said Sir Kay, and we shall pray him to tell us his name. So they rode together, till they came nigh him, and then they were where he sat by a well, and he put off his helm to drink at the well. And when he saw them come, he laced on his helm tightly, and took his horse, and proffered them to joust. Nay, said Sir Brandile, we jousted late enough with you. We come not in that intent, but for this we came to require you of knighthood to tell us your name. My fair knights, sithen that is your desire, and to please you, ye shall wit that my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse, nephew unto King Mark of Cornwall. In good time, said Sir Brandile, and well be ye found, and wit ye well that we be right glad that we have found you, and we be of a fellowship that we would be right glad of your company. For ye are the knight in the world that the noble fellowship of the Round Table most desireth to have the company of. God thank them, said Sir Tristram, of their great goodness, but as yet I feel well that I am unable to be of their fellowship. For I was never yet of such deeds of worthiness to be in the company of such a fellowship. Ah, said Sir Kay, and ye be Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. Ye are the man called now most of prowess, except Sir Lancelot de Lake, For he beareth not the life, Christian nor heathen, that can find such another knight, to speak of his prowess, and of his hands, and his truth withal. For yet could there never creature say of him dishonor, and make it good. Thus they talked a great while, and then they departed either from such ways as them seemed best. And once again, it's the Cornish disparaging. You hate to see it. Chapter 15. How King Arthur was brought into the Forest Perilous, and how Sir Tristram saved his life. Now shall ye hear what was the cause that King Arthur came into the Forest Perilous, that was in North Wales, by the means of a lady. Her name was Honora, and this lady came to King Arthur at Cardiff, and she, by fair promise and fair behests, made King Arthur to ride with her into that Forest Perilous. And she was a great sorceress, and many days she had loved King Arthur. And because she would have him to lie by her, she came into that country. So when the king was gone with her, many of his knights followed after King Arthur when they missed him, as Sir Launcelot, Brandiles, and many other. And when she had brought him to her tower, she desired him to lie by her. And then the king remembered him of his lady, and would not lie by her for no craft that she could do. Then every day she would make him ride into that forest with his own knights, to the intent to have had King Arthur slain. For when this Lady Honora saw that she might not have him at her will, then she labored by false means to have destroyed King Arthur and slain. Hold on, before we continue. Did we actually just see a knight in this story, king, knight, otherwise, that declined to sleep around? I think that might be the first time we've seen it so far. These knights are incredibly easy to trip up. So, to see Arthur, of all people, decide, you know what, nah, I'm a married man. I'm not going to have any of that. That's a bit of a shock. That's a bit of a shock. Then the Lady of the Lake, that was always friendly to King Arthur, she understood by her subtle crafts that King Arthur was like to be destroyed, and therefore this Lady of the Lake, that hight Nimue, came into that forest to seek after Sir Launcelot de Lake, or Sir Tristram, for to help King Arthur. For as that same day this Lady of the Lake knew well that King Arthur should be slain, unless that he had the help of one of these two knights. And thus she rode up and down till she met with Sir Tristram. And anon, as she saw him, she knew him. "O my lord Sir Tristram," she said, "well be ye met, and blessed be the time that I have met with you. For this same day, and within these 2 hours, shall be done the foulest deed that ever was done in this land." "O fair damsel," said Sir Tristram, "may I amend it? Come on with me," she said, "and that in all the haste ye may, for ye shall see the most worshipfullest knight of the world hard bestead." Then said Sir Tristram, "I am ready to help such a noble man." "He is neither better nor worse," said the Lady of the Lake, "but the noble King Arthur himself. God defend," said Sir Tristram, "that ever he should be in such distress." Then they rode together a great pace, until they came to a little turret or castle. And underneath that castle they saw a knight standing upon foot, fighting with 2 knights. And so Sir Tristram beheld them, and at the last the 2 knights smote down the one knight, and that one of them unlaced his helm to have slain him. And Lady Honora gat King Arthur's sword in her hand to have stricken off his head. And therewithal came Sir Tristram with all his might, crying, "Traitress, traitress, leave that!" And anon there Sir Tristram smote the one of the knights through the body, that he fell dead. And then he rashed to the other, and smote his back asunder. And in the meanwhile the Lady of the Lake cried to King Arthur, "Let not that false lady escape." Then King Arthur overtook her, and with the same sword he smote off her head. And the Lady of the Lake took up her head and hung it up by the hair of her saddle-bow. And then Sir Tristram horsed King Arthur, and rode forth with him. But he charged the Lady of the Lake not to discover his name, as at that time. When the king was horsed, he thanked heartily Sir Tristram, and desired to wit his name, but he would not tell him, but that he was a poor knight adventurous. And so he bare King Arthur fellowship, till he met with some of his knights. And within a while he met with Sir Ector de Maris, and he knew not King Arthur nor Sir Tristram. And he desired to joust with one of them. Then Sir Tristram rode unto Sir Ector, and smote him from his horse. And when he had done so, he came again to the king and said, My lord, yonder is one of your knights. He may bear you fellowship. And another day, that deed that I have done for you, I trust to God, ye shall understand that I would do you service. Alas, said King Arthur, let me wit what ye are. Not at this time, said Sir Tristram. So he departed, and left King Arthur and Sir Ector together. Chapter 16. How Tristram came to La Beale Isoud, and how Cadius began to love Beale Isoud, and of a letter that Tristram found. Oh, we're back to the soap opera, aren't we? Now we've got a love quadrangle, I would assume. We've got Tristram and La Beale Isoud, Cadius and Beale Isoud and her husband, King Mark. Things are getting complicated. And then, at a day set, Sir Tristram and Sir Lamorak met at the well, and then they took Cadius at the forester's house, and so they rode with him to the ship where they left Dame Bragwaine and Gouvernail, and so they sailed unto Cornwall, all wholly together. And by assent and information of Dame Bragwaine, when they were landed, they rode into Sir Dinas, the seneschal, a trusty friend of Sir Tristram's. And so Dame Bragwaine and Sir Dinas rode to the court of King Mark, and told the Queen La Beale Isoud that Sir Tristram was nigh her in that country. Then, for the very pure joy, La Beale Isoud swooned. And when she might speak, she said, Gentle knight, seneschal, help that I might speak with him. Outher my heart will bros. Then Sir Dinas and Dame Bragwaine brought Sir Tristram and Cadius privily into the court, unto a chamber, whereas La Beale Isoud had assigned it, and to tell the joys that were betwixt La Beale Isoud and Sir Tristram, there is no tongue can tell it, nor heart think it, nor pen write it. And as the French book maketh mention, at the first time that ever Sir Cadius saw La Beale Isoud, he was so enamoured upon her, that for very pure love he might never withdraw it. And at the last, as ye shall hear or the book be ended, Sir Cadius died for the love of La Beale Isoud. And then privily he wrote unto her letters, and ballads of the most goodliest that were used in those days. And when La Beale Isoud understood her letters, she had pity of his complaint, and unavised, she wrote another letter to comfort him withal. Yeah, King Mark, of all things, is very... It's a bit of a misfit, with all the lofty and medieval names, and then we have Mark. And they wonder why the Cornish knights are scorned. They've got a King Mark. Yeah, there's also O'Brien, yeah. There's a few very normal names that, I guess I wouldn't say necessarily normal. They're names that have continued to be carried on. A lot of the names that are here have obviously fallen out of vogue and out of the general consciousness, and you don't see very many Lancelots or Tristrams. Very rarely a Tristram. But then names like Mark and Brian and Arthur have continued on through the ages. You'll still see some even today. But but it doesn't make it any less fun when you see them in this setting. It just feels wrong, right? And Sir Tristram was all this while in a turret at the commandment of La Beale Isoud, and when she might, she came unto Sir Tristram. So, on a day, King Mark played at the chess under a chamber window, and at that time, Sir Tristram and Sir Cadius were within the chamber over King Mark. And as it mishapped, Sir Tristram found the letter that Cadius sent unto La Beale Isoud. Also, he had found the letter that she wrote unto Cadius. And at that same time, La Beale Isoud was in the same chamber. Then Sir Tristram came unto La Beale Isoud and said, Madam, here is a letter that was sent unto you, and here is the letter that ye sent unto him that sent you that letter. Alas, madam, the good love that I have loved you, and many lands and riches have I forsaken for your love, and now ye are a traitress to me, the which doth me great pain. But as for thee, Sir Cadius, I brought thee out of Brittany into this country, and thy father, King Howell, I won his lands. Howbeit, I wedded thy sister, Isoud la Blanche Mines, for the goodness she did unto me, and yet, as I am true knight, she is a clean maiden for me. But wit thou well, Sir Cadius, for this falsehood and treason thou hast done me, I will revenge it upon thee. And therewithal Sir Tristram drew out his sword and said, Sir Cadius, keep thee. And then La Beale Isoud swooned to the earth. And when Sir Cadius saw Sir Tristram come upon him, he saw none other boot, but leapt out at bay window, even over the head where sat King Mark playing at the chess. And when the king saw one come hurling over his head, he said, Fellow, what art thou? And what is the cause thou leapest out at that window? My lord the king, said Cadius, it fortuned me that I was asleep in the window above your head, and as I slept, I slumbered, and so I fell down. And thus Sir Cadius excused him. Well, that was all a very soap opera exchange. Tristram found the letters, which we presume to be love letters, between Cadius and La Beale Isoud, and confronted her immediately and called her out, and drew sword, was like, all right, we're about to go at it, Cadius. And Cadius jumps out the window into the lake over the head of King Mark. So all the while, the husband is unaware of what's going on, just sitting there playing chess. The lover, or I guess the long-time lover, Sir Tristram, is up there and causing a stir, and the new wooer is trying to work his wiles on poor La Beale Isoud, who's in the center of this love quadrangle. And so the hourglass turns, as these are the days of our medieval lives. I'm about ready to be done with Tristram. I don't know about you guys. Alright, Chapter 17. How Sir Tristram departed from Tintagel, and how he sorrowed and was so long in a forest till he was out of his mind. Then Sir Tristram dread sore lest he were discovered unto the king that he was there, and wherefore he drew him to the strength of the tower, and armed him in such armor as he had for to fight with them that would withstand him. And so, when Sir Tristram saw there was no resistance against him, he sent Gouvernail for his horse and his spear, and nightly he rode forth out of the castle openly, that was called the Castle of Tintagel, and even at gate he met with Gingelin, Sir Gawain's son. Gawain had a son. Okay. And anon Sir Gingelin put his spear in his rest, and ran upon Sir Tristram, and brake his spear. And Sir Tristram at that time had but a sword, and gave him such a buffet upon the helm that he fell down from his saddle. and his sword slid down and carved asunder his horse's neck. And so Sir Tristram rode his way into the forest, and all this doing saw King Mark. And then he sent a squire unto the hurt knight, and commanded him to come to him, and so he did. And when King Mark wist that it was Sir Gingelin, he welcomed him, and gave him a horse, and asked him what knight it was that he had encountered with him. Sir, said Gingelin, I wot not what knight he was, but well I wot that he sigheth and maketh great dole. Oh, Tristram said. Then Sir Tristram, within a while, met with a knight of his own, that hight Sir Fergus. And when he had met with him, he made great sorrow, insomuch that he fell down off his horse in a swoon, and in such sorrow he was in 3 days and 3 nights. Then at the last Sir Tristram sent unto the court by Sir Fergus, for to spare what tidings. And so as he rode by the way, he met with a damsel that came from Sir Palomides, to know and seek how Sir Tristram did. Then Sir Fergus told her how he was almost out of his mind. Alas, said the damsel, where shall I find him? In such a place, said Sir Fergus. Then Sir Fergus found Queen Isoude sick in her bed, making the greatest dole that ever any earthly woman made. And when the damsel found Sir Tristram, she made great dole because she might not amend him. For the more she made of him, the more was his pain. And at the last, Sir Tristram took his horse and rode away from her. And then it was 3 days or that she could find him. And then she brought him meat and drink, but he would none. And then another time, Sir Tristram escaped away from the damsel, and it happened to him to ride by the same castle where Sir Palomides and Sir Tristram did battle when La Beale Isoud departed them. And there by fortune the damsel met with Sir Tristram again, making the greatest dole that ever earthly creature made. She yede to the lady of that castle, and told her of the misadventure of Sir Tristram. Alas, said the lady of that castle, where is my lord Sir Tristram? Right here by your castle, said the damsel. In good time, said the lady. Is he so nigh me? He shall have meat and drink of the best, and an harp I have of his whereupon he taught me. For of goodly harping he beareth the prize in the world. So this lady and damsel brought him meat and drink, but he ate little thereof. Then upon a night he put his horse from him, and then he unlaced his armor, and then Sir Tristram would go into the wilderness, and brought down the trees and boughs, and otherwhile, when he found the harp that the lady sent him, then would he harp, and play thereupon, and weep together. And sometime, when Sir Tristram was in the wood, that the lady wist not where he was, then would she sit down and play upon that harp. And then would Sir Tristram come to that harp, and hearken thereto, and sometime he would harp himself. Thus he were endured a quarter of a year. And then at the last he ran his way, and she wist not where he was become. And then was he naked, and waxed lean, and poor of flesh, and so he fell in the fellowship of herdmen and shepherds, and daily they would give him some of their meat and drink. And when he did any shrewd deed, they would beat him with rods, and so they clipped him with shears, and made him like a fool. Okay. Dude goes half mad, finds himself in the woods, plays a harp, wanders off with herdsmen and sheep herders, and they clip him and make him out like a fool. All right, I'm okay with this. Tristram just getting a little bit of comeuppance for the pain he's caused us by having to follow his antics. It's only a few centuries removed, but you know what? Worth. Chapter 18. How Sir Tristram soused Dagonet in a well, and how Palomides sent a damsel to seek Tristram, and how Palamedes met with King Mark. And upon a day, Dagonet, King Arthur's fool, came into Cornwall with 2 squires with him, and as they rode through that forest, they came by a fair well, where Sir Tristram was wont to be, and the weather was hot, and they alighted to drink of that well, and in the meanwhile their horses brake loose. Right so Tristram came unto them, and first he saw Sir Dagonet in that well, and after his squires, and thereat laughed the shepherds, and forthwithal he ran after their horses, and brought them again one by one, and right so, wet as they were, he made them leap up and ride their ways. Thus Sir Tristram endured there half a year naked, and would never come in town nor village. The meanwhile, the damsel that Sir Palamedes sent to seek Sir Tristram, she yede unto Sir Palamedes, and told him all the mischief that Sir Tristram endured. Alas, said Sir Palamedes, it is great pity that ever so noble a knight should be so mischieved for the love of a lady. But nevertheless, I will go and seek him, and comfort him, and I may. Then a little before that time, La Beale Isoud had commanded Sir Cadius out of the country of Cornwall. So Sir Cadius departed with a dolorous heart, and by adventure he met with Sir Palamedes, and they in fellowship together, and either complained to other of their hot love that they loved La Beale Isoud. Now let us, said Sir Palamedes, seek Sir Tristram, that loved her as well as we, and let us prove whether we may recover him. So they rode into that forest, and 3 days and 3 nights they would never take their lodging, but ever sought Sir Tristram. Well, this is an interesting company. All 3 of them have been hounding after La Beale Isoud. Such a woman as this, I guess. And upon a time, by adventure, they met with King Mark, that was ridden from his men all alone. When they saw him, Sir Palamedes knew him, but Sir Cadius knew him not. Wait, what? How did... He was just there! He jumped over his chessboard into the lake! Okay. Try not to think about it. Ah, false king, said Sir Palamedes, it is pity thou hast thy life, for thou art a destroyer of all worshipful knights, and by thy mischief and thy vengeance thou hast destroyed that most noble knight, Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. And therefore defend thee, said Sir Palamedes, for thou shalt die this day. That were shame, said King Mark, for ye 2 are armed, and I am unarmed. As for that, said Sir Palamedes, I shall find a remedy therefore. Here is a knight with me, and thou shalt have his harness. Nay, said King Mark, I will not have ado with you, for cause have ye none to me. For all the misease that Sir Tristram hath was for a letter that he found. For as to me, I did him no displeasure. And God knoweth I am full sorry for his disease and malady. So, when the king had thus excused him, they were friends, and King Mark would have had them unto Tintagel. But Sir Palamedes would not, but turned unto the realm of Logres, and Sir Cadius said that he would go into Brittany. Now turn we unto Sir Dagonet again, that when he and his squires were upon horseback, he deemed that the shepherds had sent that fool to array them so, because they laughed at them. And so they rode unto the keepers of beasts, and all to beat them. Sir Tristram saw them beat that were wont to give him meat and drink. Then he ran thither and gat Sir Dagonet by the head, and gave him such a fall to the earth that he bruised him sore, so that he lay still. And then he wrast his sword out of his hand, and therewith he ran to one of his squires and smote off his head, and the other fled. And so Sir Tristram took his way with that sword in his hand, running as he had been wild wood. Then Sir Dagonet rode to King Mark, and told him how he had sped in that forest. And therefore, said Sir Dagonet, beware, King Mark, that thou come not about that well in the forest, for there is a fool naked, and that fool and I met together, and he had almost slain me. Ah, said King Mark, that is Sir Matto le Brun, that fell out of his wit because he lost his lady. For when Sir Gaheris smote down Sir Matto and won his lady of him, never since was he in his mind. That was pity, for he was a good knight. So now there's an identity misunderstanding, where Mark thinks it's not Tristram that's out there causing problems. And also, Mark somehow just said, "Wasn't me," and got out of having to fight with Palamedes. Okay. Chapter 19. How it was noised, how Sir Tristram was dead, and how La Beale Isoud would have slain herself. Then Sir Andred, that was cousin unto Sir Tristram, made a lady that was his paramour to say and to noise it that she was with Sir Tristram or ever he died. And this tale she brought unto King Mark's court, that she buried him by a well. And that, or he died, he besought King Mark to make his cousin Sir Andred, king of the country of Leonis, of which Sir Tristram was lord of. All this did Sir Andred because he would have had Sir Tristram's lands. What a good cousin. And when King Mark heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead, he wept and made great dole. But when Queen Isoud heard of these tidings, she made such sorrow that she was nigh out of her mind. And so, upon a day she thought to slay herself, and never to live after Sir Tristram's death. And so, upon a day, La Beale Isoud gat a sword privily, and bare it to her garden, and there she pight the sword through a plum tree up to the hilt, so that it struck fast, and it stood breast high. And as she would have run upon the sword to have slain herself, all this espied King Mark, how she kneeled down and said, "Sweet Lord Jesu, have mercy upon me, for I may not live after the death of Sir Tristram de Leonis. For he was my first love, and he shall be the last." And with these words came King Mark, and took her in his arms. And then he took up the sword, and bare her away with him into a tower. And there he made her to be kept, and watched her surely. And after that she lay long sick, nigh at the point of death. This meanwhile ran Sir Tristram naked in the forest with the sword in his hand. And so he came to a hermitage, and there he laid him down and slept. And in the meanwhile the hermit stole away his sword, and laid meat down by him. Thus was he kept there 10 days. And at the last he departed, and came to the herdsman again. And there was a giant in that country, that hight Tauleas. And for fear of Sir Tristram more than 7 year he durst never much go at large, but for the most part he kept him in a sure castle of his own. And so this Tauleas heard tell that Sir Tristram was dead, by the noise of the court of King Mark. Then this Tauleas went daily at large, and so he happed upon a day he came to the herdsman wandering and languoring. And there he set him down to rest among them. The meanwhile there came a knight of Cornwall that led a lady with him, and his knight was Sir Dinant. And when the giant saw him, he went from the herdsman and hid him under a tree. And so the knight came to that well, and there he alighted to repose him. And as soon as he was from his horse, this giant Tauleas came betwixt this knight and his horse, took the horse and leapt upon him. So forthwith he rode unto Sir Dinant, and took him by the collar, and pushed him afore him upon his horse, and there would have stricken off his head. Then the herdsman said unto Sir Tristram, "Help yonder knight, help ye him, sir." "Help," said Sir Tristram. "Help ye him," said Sir Tristram. "We dare not," said the herdsman. Then Sir Tristram was ware of the sword of the knight there as it lay, and so thither he ran and took up the sword and struck off Sir Tauleas' head, and so he yede his way to the herdsman. Chapter 20. How King Mark found Sir Tristram naked, and made him to be borne home to Tintagel, and how he was there known by a brachet. Then the knight took up the giant's head, and bare it with him unto King Mark. and told him what adventure betide him in the forest, and how a naked man rescued him from the grimly giant, Dolius. "Where had ye this adventure?" said King Mark. "Forsooth it," said Sir Donald, "at the fair fountain in your forest, where many adventurous knights meet. And there is the mad man." "Well," said King Mark, "I will see that wild man." So within a day or two, King Mark commanded his knights and his hunters that they should be ready on the morn for to hunt. And so upon the morn he went unto that forest. And when the king came to that well, he found there lying by that well a fair naked man, and a sword by him. And then King Mark blew and straked, and therewith his knights came to him. And then the king commanded his knights to take that naked man with fairness, and bring him to my castle. So they did, softly and fair, and cast mantles upon Sir Tristram, and so led him unto Tintagel. And there they bathed him and washed him, and gave him hot suppings, till they had brought him well to his remembrance. But all this while there was no creature that knew Sir Tristram, nor what man he was. So it fell upon a day that the queen, La Beale Isoud, heard of such a man, that ran naked in the forest, and how the king had brought him home to the court. Then La Beale Isoud called unto her Dame Bragwaine, and said, "Come on with me, for we will go see this man that my lord brought from the forest that last day." So they passed forth, and spared where was the sick man. And then a squire told the queen that he was in the garden, taking his rest, and reposing him against the sun. So when the queen looked upon Sir Tristram, she was not remembered of him. But ever so, she said unto Dame Bragwaine, "Meseemeth, I should have seen him heretofore in many places." But as soon as Sir Tristram saw her, he knew her well enough. And then he turned away his visage and wept. Then the queen had always a little pratchett with her, that Sir Tristram gave her the first time that ever she came into Cornwall. And never would that brachet depart from her but if Sir Tristram was nigh, thereas was La Beale Isoud. And this brachet was sent from the king's daughter of France unto Sir Tristram for great love. And anon, as this little brachet felt a savour of Sir Tristram, she leapt upon him and licked his leers and his ears, and then she whined and quested, and she smelled at his feet and at his hands, and on all parts of his body, that he might come to. "Ah, my lady," said Dame Bragwaine unto La Beale Isoud, "alas, alas," said she, "I see it is mine own lord, Sir Tristram." And thereupon Isoud fell down in a swoon, and so lay a great while. And when she might speak, she said, "My lord Tristram, blessed be God ye have your life, and now I am sure ye shall be discovered by this little brachet, for she will never leave you. And also, I am sure, as soon as my lord King Mark do know you, he will banish you out of the country of Cornwall, or else he will destroy you. For God's sake, mine own lord, grant King Mark his will, and then draw you unto the court of King Arthur, for there ye are ye beloved. And even when I may, I shall send unto you, and when ye list, ye may come to me. And at all times, early and late, I will be at your commandment, to live as poor life as ever did queen or lady." "Oh, madam," said Sir Tristram, "go from me, for mickle anger and danger have I escaped for your love." Chapter 21. How King Mark, by the advice of his council, banished Sir Tristram out of Cornwall the term of 10 years. Then the queen departed, but the brachet would not from him, and therewithal came King Mark, and the brachet set upon him and bayed at them all. Therewithal Sir Andred spake and said, "Sir, this is Sir Tristram, I see by the brachet." "Nay," said the king, "I cannot suppose that." Then the king asked him upon his faith what he was, and what was his name. "So God help me," said he, "my name is Sir Tristram de Lyonesse. Now do by me what ye list." "Ah," said King Mark, "me repenteth of your recovery." And then he let call his barons to judge Sir Tristram to the death. Then many of his barons would not assent thereto, and in especial Sir Dinas the Seneschal, and Sir Fergus. And so, by the advice of them all, Sir Tristram was banished out of the country for 10 years, and thereupon he took his oath upon a book before the king and his barons. And so he was made to depart out of the country of Cornwall. And there were many barons brought him unto his ship, of the which some were his friends, and some his foes. And in the meanwhile there came a knight of King Arthur's. His name was Dinadan, and his coming was for to seek after Sir Tristram. Then they showed him where he was armed at all points going to the ship. Now, fair knight, said Sir Dinadan, or ye pass this court, that ye will joust with me, I require thee. With a good will, said Sir Tristram, and these lords will give me leave. Then the barons granted thereto, and so they ran together. And there Sir Tristram gave Sir Dinadan a fall, and then he prayed Sir Tristram to give him leave to go in his fellowship. Ye shall be right welcome, said then Sir Tristram. And so they took their horses, and rode to their ships together. And when Sir Tristram was in the sea, he said, Greet well King Mark and all mine enemies, and say them, I will come again when I may. And well am I rewarded for the fighting with Sir Marhaus, and delivered all this country from servage, and well am I rewarded for the fetching and costs of Queen Isoude out of Ireland, and the danger that I was in first and last. And by the way, coming home, what danger I had to bring again Queen Isoude from the Castle Pleur. And well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Bloberus for Sir Sigwardi's wife. And well am I rewarded when I fought with Sir Blamore de Gannis for King Anguish, father unto La Beale Isoud. And well am I rewarded when I smote down the good knight Sir Lamorac de Galis at King Mark's request. And well am I rewarded when I fought with the king with the 100 knights, and the king of Northgalis, and both of these would have put this land in servage. And by me they were put to a rebuke. And well am I rewarded for the slaying of Tullius, the mighty giant, and many other deeds have I done for him, and now I have my warison. And tell King Mark that many noble knights of the Table Round have spared the barons of this country for my sake. Also, am I not well rewarded when I fought with the good knight Sir Palamedes, and rescued Queen Isoude from him? And at that time King Mark said afore all his barons, I should have been better rewarded, and forthwithal he took the sea. So Tristram is banished and has a bit of a rant about how much he's done for Cornwall, how much he's done for King Mark, and how is he rewarded? Banishment. I guess I see where he's coming from. But bro, you're trying to sleep with the queen. There's a little something going on there. Consequences and all. Chapter 22. How a damsel sought help to help Sir Lancelot against 30 knights, and how Sir Tristram fought with them. That is incredibly true, fair and valid. Even today, the gentry don't expect consequences, or accept them. And that is edging awful close to politics, so we'll leave off there. But you are right. And at the next landing, fast by the sea, there met with Sir Tristram, and with Sir Dinadan, Sir Ector de Maris, and Sir Bors de Ganis. And there Sir Ector jousted with Sir Dinadan, and he smote him and his horse down. And then Sir Tristram would have jousted with Sir Bors, and Sir Bors said that he would not joust with no Cornish knights, for they are not called men of worship. And all this was done upon a bridge. And with this came Sir Bloberus and Sir Driant, and Sir Bloberus preferred to joust with Sir Tristram. And there Sir Tristram smote down Sir Bloberus, Then said Sir Bors de Ganis, I wist never Cornish knight of so great valour, nor so valiant as that knight that beareth the trappings embroidered with crowns. And then Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan departed from them into a forest. And there met them a damsel that came for the love of Sir Launcelot to seek after some noble knights of King Arthur's court for to rescue Sir Launcelot. And so Sir Launcelot was ordained, for by the treason of Queen Morgan le Fay, to have slain Sir Launcelot. And for that cause she ordained 30 knights to lie in a wait for Sir Launcelot. And this damsel knew this treason. And for this cause the damsel came for to seek noble knights to help Sir Launcelot. For that night, or the day after, Sir Launcelot should come where these 30 knights were. And so this damsel met with Sir Bors and Sir Ector and with Sir Driant, and there she told them all 4 of the treason of Morgan le Fay. And then they promised her that they would be nigh where Sir Launcelot should meet with the 30 knights. And if so be they set upon him, we will do rescues as we can. So the damsel departed, and by adventure the damsel met with Sir Tristram and with Sir Dinadan. And there the damsel told them all the treason that was ordained for Sir Launcelot. Fair damsel, said Sir Tristram, bring me to that same place where they should meet with Sir Launcelot. Then Sir Dinadan, what will ye do? It is not for us to fight 30 knights, and wit you well, I will not thereof. As to match 1 knight 2 or 3 is enough, and they be men. But to match 15 knights, that will I never undertake. Fie, for shame, said Sir Tristram, but do your part. And do but your part. Nay, said Sir Dinadan, I will not thereof, but if ye will lend me your shield, for ye bear a shield of Cornwall, and for the cowardice that is named the knights of Cornwall, by your shields ye be ever forborne. Nay, said Sir Tristram, I will not depart from my shield, for her sake that gave it me. But one thing, said Sir Tristram, I promise thee, Sir Dinadan, but if thou wilt promise me to abide with me, here I shall slay thee, for I desire no more of thee but answer 1 knight. And if thy heart will not serve thee, stand by, and look upon me and them. Sir, said Sir Dinadan, I promise you to look upon you, and to do what I may to save myself. But I would I had not met with you. And so then anon, these 30 knights came fast by these 4 knights, and they were ware of them, and either of other. And so these 30 knights let them pass, for this cause, that they would not wrath them, if case be that they had ado with Sir Launcelot, and the 4 knights let them pass to this intent, that they would see and behold what they would do with Sir Launcelot. And so the 30 knights passed on, and came by Sir Tristram, and by Sir Dinadan. And then Sir Tristram cried on high, Lo! Here is a knight against you for the love of Sir Launcelot. And there he slew 2 with 1 spear, and 10 with his sword. And then came in Sir Dinadan, and he did passing well. And so, of the 30 knights, there went but 10 away, and they fled. All this battle saw Sir Bors de Ganis and his 3 fellows. And then they saw well it was the same knight that jousted with them at the bridge. Then they took their horses and rode unto Sir Tristram, and praised him, and thanked him of his good deeds. And they all desired Sir Tristram to go with them to their lodging. And he said, nay, he would not go to no lodging. Then they all 4 knights prayed him to tell them his name. Fair lords, said Sir Tristram, as at this time I will not tell you my name. All right, we are coming up to 10 o'clock, so we are probably about as good a spot as any to finish for the night. We're definitely approaching the fated meeting between Tristram and Lancelot. They're getting closer and closer, circling and circling each other as they're kind of hanging out in the same areas, helping each other without the other ever knowing. And as it comes, I imagine probably tomorrow we'll see where they finally meet up, and whether or not they will be friend or foe. But we'll leave that to sort itself out as we come to it. But this is as much as it annoys me that we came back to Tristram, he got a little bit of a comeuppance, and everywhere that he goes, people are talking down about Cornish knights, and he just takes it. So that's kind of nice too. So we'll see if he'll redeem himself in our eyes, or if he'll just bumble his way into honor and glory, all while being a soap opera protagonist. Alright, guys. Let's go ahead and call it here for the evening. I am beyond tired. So we'll go ahead and pick this back up tomorrow. We're a little bit north of 80% through the book. At this point, I fully expect that we will finish tomorrow. So look forward to that. And I'll need to come up with something for Sunday. We'll see. And yeah, you're right. He's like a worse Gawain, which is really that I thought the bar was low to do better than Gawain. Tristram brought a goddamn shovel. So, alright guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do the YouTube shill thing real quick. If you have not yet, go ahead and drop a like on the stream. We are trying to grow our community here, and the best way to do that is to convince the algorithm to show more people our stuff. So, if you haven't yet, go ahead and drop a like, maybe a subscribe, and we'll see if we can have some more fun together as we continue our readings through wonderful literature and less wonderful things, because you know what? Sometimes we pick some doozies. Thoreau. Alright, we're going to call it here for the night. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow, and we'll see what adventures are in store for Tristram, whether he'll redeem himself, whether he'll finally meet Lancelot, and we'll see how this first volume of Le Morte d'Arthur comes to an end. And that'll be it for a little while. I'd rather not continue with this just yet. We'll switch it up. We'll have some other stories and short stories and revisiting some things. We still need to go back to Alice. We've got lots of Sherlock Holmes still. We've got more Lovecraft to go through. So we've got so many wonderful options to go through and see. So, until next time, have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye now.